Everybody, about to do the Zoom call. No one's on yet, so this is for the people that are watching pre-recording. It's been an epic adventure so far that everything's just happening. So from this, working with Michelle, who's amazing, by the way, she has been getting so many bookings per week for her program, which is exciting. She is so senior, so proficient in what she understands and what she knows, which is amazing. I've had people ask to become a part of this program, like basically like what I've done with Michelle, kind of like producing a funnel with her. I've had people just like contact me out of the blue, join my coaching program and ask to be like, the next case study for this. So it's like you get to the avalanche. And that's what we're looking at. We're looking at the tipping point. We're looking at the avalanche. We're looking at basically that point where everything just kind of goes, whoo. And it can happen for you. There's skill sets, there's competencies that need to be established, like speaking, writing, strategy. Those are things that you want to work with a coach to achieve. And at the same time, hey, first person's on. So let's get into this webinar, and thanks for watching the replay. Now we're going to go live for these guys. G'day, Wayne. How you doing? G'day.
Hi, Scott. How you going?
Good. How are you?
Yeah, good. Sorry I've missed the last couple of times, but...
That's okay. Life happens.
Sorry?
Life will happen.
Life. Exactly, yeah.
Yeah, sorry. While I'm talking to you, I'm also getting messages from people asking for the link to come on. So, so what's been happening in your world?
What's been happening? I've finished my PDF giveaway, and I'm just about to settle down to get into the marketing process now. So I'm quite excited about that.
Excellent. Yeah,
Yep.
just run with it.
Yep.
Something that I find, there's kind of like, there's the strategic level. Hey, Michelle's joining. There's the strategic level.
Yep.
Where you got to follow this. And there's also like this inner game, like where sometimes we can be like not attached enough and sometimes too attached.
Yep. Yep.
All those mental games that come up, like that people can't see it. They see your face. They can't see past it.
Yep.
All those thoughts go on. Have I made this too long? Have I made this too short?
Yep.
Will everybody understand it? Is it amazing? Or
Yep.
am I some kind of a narcissist for thinking that my work's any good at all? And it's just amazing, the explosion of thoughts that go on in the head.
Yep.
I found that sometimes like treating it a little bit like a game can help, because sometimes what can hold people back is that they know that it'll work if they treat it seriously, and even that is a scary prospect.
Right. Okay.
It's like, say, like somebody's they're on Australia's Got Talent or America's Got Talent or England's or UK's, any of those shows, or The Voice, or
Yep.
And they know that if they follow through, they're going to become a celebrity, and they're never going to get their anonymity back. So there's a cost to their success.
Yep.
And so even something like sort of like your bank account gets better, or your efficacy, your ability to actually like create more success in your life gets better, that can actually make some parts of your life temporarily worse.
Yep.
Because it can make you uncomfortable.
What did somebody say? At every level, at each new level, there's a new devil?
Yeah, new level, new devil. I love that.
Yeah.
But it's so true, because I think that sometimes steps are so important, but beneath the surface, this whole mental game that needs to occur. People look at our faces and they assume high or low intelligence just looking at your face, which is ridiculous. Or mine or yours, anybody's. But it's just amazing, kind of like how much like goes on in the head in this process.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Yep.
Well, like it's been fun with like what we're doing tonight. Okay, Les is coming on. what we're doing tonight, like working with Michelle, is that because like we've been doing, we've got recordings from the last few because we're doing a little bit of a series, creating a 6-figure funnel from start to finish.
Okay.
And having the whole lot filmed. So except for like a couple of calls here or there, any interaction that I've had with her has been filmed as part of the series to kind of make this, instead of going, this is easy, do it, and then at the risk of insulting people accidentally and saying, this is so easy, and if you're not pulling it off, this you're behaving poorly. And I think that that's a message that unfortunately can come across sometimes. And it's not that just people are behaving poorly. Sometimes they're behaving brilliantly. And then the coach insults them and goes like, it's your fault. Like you should be. So it's like, it's watching kind of like me and Michelle kind of like, produce this thing together. I just run on with like what I'm going to say, and she'll kind of stop me and sort of say, hang on, Scott, can you explain that for me more clearly?
Yep.
And that's part of what I love about this whole process, is because I don't know, as not being a mind reader, like I don't know the difference between what I know and what someone else knows, especially because there's just multiple people. Having somebody basically quiz me and sort of go like, well, hang on, can you explain that better? Or hang on, you've gone on about that enough. It's brilliant for me to have that other person just to sort of say, here's the human element of the experience.
Yep. I guess it's part of mapping where the other person's at too.
Yeah. Michelle, how you doing? Oh, you're on mute.
Yeah, good. Really good.
Alrighty. Well done on this week. Your videos have been amazing.
Thank you.
You've absolutely run with this, and like I get excited every time, like you're telling me, another sign up. It's really awesome.
Yeah, it's been well, I'm on JobKeeper, just so everyone knows. So I've got a job at Business Events Tasmania, which is like the convention bureau for the state. And I guess I'm in that do or die type scenario where I have to make this work so that I don't have to go back to work on the 27th of September. And I've been now, I haven't had to work for 2 weeks, and I've had the best 2 weeks ever because I guess I've had more time. So yeah, and I'm really excited because I've just, I've just employed somebody to help me because I can't do it all right now. Like I've got big plans to scale clearly, and I'm planning on doing like this massive launch on Instagram, which I've never done before. Like I've only ever done it more through a bit of value and direct message strategy. And so I'm going to do that. I've got someone all keyed up. She's going to, I've like literally trained her in the last couple of days as well. Like she's actually a social media manager anyway, but she's a bit green. I'm not paying the earth. But I'm sort of training her, and I've given her my course and said, you come with me, you work with me 100%, and I will I'll help her. So I'm really excited. It's a big step and it's a bit of a risk, but I think it's going to be great. But yeah, Christine, your lady, hypnotherapist lady that came from this group, she's loving my course. Like she's in it, and she's like, because I do a mindset lesson in lesson 2, and she's like,
Christine's brilliant.
Sorry?
Christine's brilliant.
Yeah, look, Christine is right in it. Like she's really highly engaged, and just said to me on Friday, she turned up to the training, she said, that was the best training, and she's just been really positive, and she's like, I'm going to be an Insta girl. So yeah, she's really really embraced it, and she's going back to like the start and almost researching and validating, I think. So I'm really excited. So yeah, I can't remember who the other who was the other lady that was Heather, yeah. Oh, Heather hasn't really started yet. I think she just started today. I saw her. Yeah, she's been too busy with you, with your course apparently. So that's what she said to me. She said, oh, look, she just, yeah. So, Yeah, but it's been a big week, like a big couple of weeks, because I've got 8 new people, and I sort of like to look after them a lot in the first few weeks in particular and get them all settled in. So,
Yeah.
and then just, yeah, all those interviews, like I had like interviews for 6 people, because I really didn't want to get the wrong person. So,
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. And what I always love to do at the start is like, share some wins. Like in the last 24 hours, wrote a new ebook. All of mine, I try to aim for 5,000 words for everyone. So we did that and put an online course with that ebook. I've had like a ton of people opt in for that, which is great. Because I like the work that we've been doing together.
yes.
A new person contacted me and asked if they can be next. I've had a guy just recently, like, from America, that I didn't do a sales call with or anything. He's just messaged me and said, I've seen your stuff. I need to join the program. And so I'm getting like, about, I've got one of my programs, which is 2.5K, like over a payment plan.
Yep.
I've been getting about 2 people a week ask to join it without sales calls, because
Wow.
that thing we call like the sales branding spectrum.
Yes.
And so if you've got no branding, if you've got no ebooks, videos and stuff out there for people to see, and they don't know you yet, you've got to be great at sales.
Yes.
And
Which
to
is
be
me.
great at sales,
Like, I haven't had that out there before. So that's what I'm excited about. Yeah.
yeah. And so to be great at sales, great at sales, you've got to, like what Kerwin Ray says, slow down for yellow lights. Don't kind of like treat like what everyone does. They put their foot on the accelerator and be like, I can get through this thing. Somebody objects and you're like, blah, 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 I'll just talk over you till you forget your objection. That doesn't work.
Yes.
They feel it in the body, like something's wrong.
Yes.
So the idea is like slow down. Like it's to the risk of sounding dirty, treat it like sex.
Yeah.
Slow down
Yeah.
for yellow lights. Slow down
Yeah.
speed of the slowest person's pace. Be clear and you'll get the sale.
Yeah. Yeah.
But on the branding side, there's something I always love to say is like, do not look for 1,000 leads. Instead, create a framework that 1,000 people would want to come and look at, because it adds perspective to their world.
Yes. Yeah.
So between the two, kind of like this whole create a framework so that you're not like what Brendan Bouchard likes to say is like that instead of being the busy bee visiting every flower, be the flower that all of the busy bees come to find. That's your framework.
Yeah.
Ebook.
Yeah.
And then for the sale, slow the process down. Like I've done like a lot of work like with like Les, just like with the coaching. So the Success Resources, this company, they're the biggest seminar basic record on the planet. They've got 500 stages around the world. And so like Les that's here, like he's run the crews. Like he's trained the sales teams, and he does all sorts of things. He's amazing. He's multi-skilled. It's really cool. I've crewed and he's trained me. So I've been like, one of the volunteer crew, and we kind of watched like the sales, like the people that the best, they've got their slides and they've got their dot points about like what you get in the program. They slow it down. They go, 1, this is what you get. Here's what you get and what you get. 2, here's what you get, and here's what you get and what you get. 3, also, they spend the time. They honor the audience as they're kind of going, we don't know as much as what you know. We're not as proficient as you are. Slow the hell down. You know this, I don't.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's like, it's so important. And then we've seen kind of sometimes, without kind of naming any particular speaker, but it's fairly common. Sometimes it's the same speaker. They do a good day and they have massive sales because they honor that rhythm they honor the fact that there is an audience who are trying to kind of figure this stuff out from where they're at. And other times that same speaker, they come out and like they're angry, they're snappy. They go, oh, these slides, I'm as the speaker bored of my own slides, so I'll skip through them as fast as possible. And then as the sales team, kind of like where they're kind of, everyone comes up to the back of the room and goes, what was that about? What do you get? I don't even know what you get. And so it's kind of like what happened that day is that the audience was not honored. And it costs, well, it can cost millions. And so that's kind of like when they said like slow down for the yellow lights, have a framework that brings people in, slow down for the yellow lights to make the sale. And when you bring the two together, then you've got magic. And so like these steps, like we use this acronym called TRACK, traffic, retention, protection,
You use lots of acronyms.
I'm addicted. If there was an acronym patch, I'd wear it and I'd come up with an acronym patch. But yeah, this whole
You're on Instagram, Scott.
no, that's you know.
I tried to tag you in. I'm like, oh my god, he's not even on Instagram.
Yeah, I mean, like I've done really well with like Google and Facebook. That's well, you know, I'll be doing your program next because I know that you know what you're talking about. Like you're the best, and that's why you know promoting your stuff to people.
Oh, I just feel like Instagram is this secret thing that a lot of people don't know how good it is. They don't realize how to use it, and they just get on there and they just try and post pretty pictures, and they've never known, oh my God, like how you can actually find your people, your niche without paying for Facebook ads. Like you can do it all free. So I don't think people know that. Like my speech therapist this week, right, used my DM strategy. She sent me a text message back going, oh my God, Mish. She's like, so she reached out to all these, like her niche is, she's a speech therapist. She's serving or helping 2 to 6 year old boys, mums, and she's actually putting a course together. I'm mentoring and coaching her through that, and she's doing my course. And she's doing the direct message strategy and just warming the audience up on Insta for 3 months prior to getting this all done. And she reached out to, like, she's got 70 new followers this week. She's hardly got any followers, right? She's got like 200 followers. She got 70 new followers this week. And she sent me a message of on my phone of like all these replies back for her reaching out to them. And because I give them these templates of these messages that they send, and it's just non-salesy, you know, and then they follow her back, and then she sends one, and then they send her all. So she had about 10 messages back on that one night of all these people. I'm like, oh my God. I said, you're doing better than me. Your niche is easier than mine. Because I mean, I get messages back, but not that many. Like that's massive. And I'm like, man, you are going to nail this. So we've worked out a strategy for her that she's going to make like 200K organically off Instagram with a group just like mine. My strategy, actually. So,
that's incredible.
like not just a course, but a group. And she's going to provide 1 hour of support to mums that need support with kids with autism every week, questions and answers.
Yeah.
So it's pretty exciting.
Absolutely. It's so exciting. Another principle that I love that gets talked about sometimes is like that honor the struggle, as in that all of this stuff is both easy and hard. Because if we say it's easy or if we say it's hard, neither one is exactly true. It's kind of more that their skill sets. And there was somebody that I was talking to earlier today. They were talking about like when somebody wants to achieve something, if they haven't seen how long it'll take for them to achieve it, they won't start. So for anyone who's seen the 1,000 Steps in Upper Ferntree Gully, Melbourne, Victoria, or just some kind of a big hill, if you know one locally. Sometimes people they look at the top and they're tired and advanced. And they haven't even started the first step. It's like they haven't set step 1 foot on the first step, and they're already kind of like, oh, this is huge. So it's something like build a web page. Does that take 1 minute or does that take 10 years? If they know, they know. The picture that comes up in their head is either panic or proficiency. So what we found is that like demonstrating, like with Instagram, building an Instagram business or getting money from Instagram, does that take 1 minute or does that take 10 years? It's like, well, nobody knows until they've seen it. And that's what I love about like demonstrations, is that to honor the struggle. If anyone, like watching this finds, at times, because like for the authenticity that we're going for, like we're doing all of this as an off the cuff recording live, and seeing what happens building the funnel with all of the nonsense comes with like, oh, my computer didn't work that day, and I'm a little bit tired today and I forgot the word that I'm trying to say. All of that will come up in everybody's world. So the patience that everyone has to just allow that we're sharing a genuine human experience that will match very much their genuine human experience. It's so awesome, the patience people have just And the positivity that we've seen from people basically saying, thanks for showing us that.
Yeah.
Literally just people saying just thanks for showing us that.
Yeah.
So let's get into, are you happy to,
So Wayne, did you have some wins?
Yeah, I've got my free PDF going now, which is really good.
Yeah. Awesome.
About to launch.
So Wayne, tell me, you're a hypnotherapist as well, and what do you specialize in?
No, I'm not. I'm an NLP practitioner.
Oh, right. Okay.
And I work with, I'm going to work with couples. Want to work with couples.
Oh,
I've done a lot of couples work over the years, and I really like it.
Yeah,
Really
good.
good.
Awesome. Yeah, excellent.
Yep.
Very good.
that's great. Like it's, what I didn't realize, like when I first heard about like books or ebooks and things like that, sorry, people are asking to join and I'm replying. I didn't realize that like ebooks were lead magnets. Just a simple thing like that should sound almost obvious. It wasn't obvious to me. That I thought, like KJ Rowling, like people sort of go, I've made $1 million with this book. I'm like, how'd you do that? And I've gone through public speaking. Like, well, how does that work? And like, well, you don't make money off the book. Like one of the best things you can do with a lead magnet or with like a PDF is build a database. And from that database, you build trust, you communicate with them, you give your best, you never hold back because you are more than the frameworks. So information's free, transformation costs. That's where, like, when people hold back and they kind of go, well, I better not tell people things I know or else they won't need me. They'll need you. They're not going to pick up the message that says, I can do this on my own, I don't need you. They'll pick up the message that says, you've taught me how to do this on my own, but I think I'd just be better off if I just went and joined you. And they join because you didn't hold back. You explained, you honored the audience and like their needs and gave them what they needed. You happy to get onto the screen share?
Yeah.
Excellent. So if I just like recap like where we're at, we did one post in one group. There's been like about 35 comments or something on it, like I'm-ins and the replies to the opt-in page.
Yep.
That was in a Facebook group. And so the headline that we did, what was it? How to attract 2 to 3 new clients per week on Instagram without having to post every day?
With organically, yeah. Or without having to post every day, yeah.
Then an empty space, then it said, type I'm in to get the free guide or type I'm in to get the MacGuffin, whatever it is, whatever moves the plot forward. It's like type I'm in to get.
Yep.
Yeah. Then from there, so yeah, on my thing, I've got to be able to, on the settings, enable screen share.
Mm-hmm.
Share screen, here we go. Okay. So after that, you built video. So there's still like a couple of videos. I think one video left. You've done the indoctrination video.
Unless I update this other one because it was a bit dark and I need to get some lighting, which I need ASAP, some good lighting.
Yeah. Well, that's, it's funny. I heard a guy who was massive in the marketing world. This guy called Andy Jenkins. Unfortunately, he'd passed away. He was involved in Hacks and Films, which created the Blair Witch Project. So that whole shaky cam thing, like that we saw in movies, that was an internet marketer who made that. And so I got to kind of like do all of his programs before he went. But yeah, like there's things that because like he basically went to like film school, actual film school, and paid his 20 grand to do, he said it was 100 grand once he'd done a few years. And he's gone like, I've filmed it for you and I'm going to put it out there. So he was big, like 15 years ago. He's like old school big. And so one thing he said about like lighting is that the face should be evenly lit on both sides, or else, you know that movie Face Off when you got like Nicolas Cage and John Travolta and it looks kind of spooky. It's like, that's not really great for internet marketing. That's great for spooky movies or procedural cop shows, like we've got like the Dick Tracy, like we've got like they're looking through the blinds and you can see the lines across their face. That's brilliant for drama, but people just really want to see your face and they want to see evenly lit. Also, that if you have poor sound quality, their brain will kind of register poor video quality because they can't hear you.
Yeah.
Even if your lighting's fine, basically, you can't edit extra quality into a video.
Mm,
It's that like it only picked up what it picked up, and you can't enhance it like on the sci-fis.
yeah.
Not until we get like better and better AI, which I'm sure is coming, but for the moment, it's kind of like
I
get
found
the
one.
lighting on the face.
I'm going to get a YONGNUO YN300ER, which is like a small little light box thing that's like $80 or $90. It's not major. And
Yeah.
apparently it packs a punch and it's really, really good. Anyway, we'll see.
Is it like a diffused light source, like a softbox? So it's a
Yeah, it's like I've read all the reviews and that, and one of the guys, there's this guy on YouTube that I always just listen to all of his technical, his top 3 or whatever. And he's like rated it. There was 3. There was a tiny little cube one, which is this was sort of like portable ones. And so I've decided that I'm just going to go for that next step up portable one, which I think will be fine. Other than that, there was 2 that are about 300 to 400, like 200 to 300. So I could either go with those bigger ones, or do I just go with this little portable one, which I think will probably suit me, because I sort of like fly around the house, and do you know what I mean? I think that one's probably all I need until I'm making the millions. Then I can.
As long as your face is lit. Can you screen share now that I've enabled screen sharing?
Yes, looks like
Excellent.
it. Yeah. Do you want me to go into something now?
Yeah, let's go into lead pages.
Can you see lead pages now?
Yeah, I can.
Yep, cool.
So can you recap? Can you take us through the pages so we can see like what has been completed so far?
Yeah, sure. Okay, so first of all, we'll just go into the ebook first. So this was the ebook that we first created, which was basically the 5 secrets. We actually had the wrong image there, which I should really fix up. But the 5 secrets that that you need to know to get 2 to 3 leads off Instagram. And beautiful. Then how do I actually get back out of that? Right. So then we went to the next one is the 2 to 3 clients per week indoctrination. So
can you actually bring each page? Oh yeah.
Sorry.
There we go.
Yep.
So as people opt in, the page does not take them to the ebook. It emails them the ebook, forcing them to put in an accurate email address. And instead, they get this video that basically says, thank you for downloading the book. It's on your way to its inbox. But in the meantime, let me tell you, before you go, let me share one trick to attract 2 to 3 clients per week.
Yeah. So excellent. Yeah, I can't believe how bad my face looked then. But anyway, another story. And then
actually, there's always a thing. You can redo it. Yeah. It's like the fact that you did it, you made momentum.
Yeah. Yeah, no, and it's really good because it was just a practice thing, because I've never really done probably this long a video. Like I always just do them off the top of my head. Do you know what I mean? What comes naturally. But these ones were probably a bit more thought through, which I probably struggled with more than just whatever comes out of my mouth normally just goes on air. But yeah, this was sort of good. Okay, and then the next one we've got the Mythbuster. So that would be the 3rd one. So why you don't need 1,000 or more followers to create 2 to 3 sales per week from Instagram. So,
are you able to play like a few seconds of the video and see if it comes through on the Zoom?
So why you don't need 1,000 followers to get 2 to 3 sales per week?
Yeah.
Yep.
Off Instagram.
So yeah, if you want to pause it, we'll leave links in the group just to make sure that people can access that.
Yep.
What's really cool, like, because this whole thing was based on like it wasn't an exact script, as in like there is an exact script that you the script generator that we follow, and then from there you've got sort of the option of like saying exactly what you wrote down, or using it as sort of like a bit of a prompt just to help you to get out what you were going to say, kind of in a bit of a strategic order.
That's what I ended up sort of doing, like trying to relay back with the prompt because I couldn't get the thing to work in the end, but that's okay.
Yeah.
So
I did a video today to get my ebook out there a bit more.
Yeah.
And I was just tired. I've been on the phone to everybody, and like we all get that moment, like where we just can't sort of get the words out.
Yeah.
And I thought that I was articulate, but I kind of went around this oval thing where it's a popular spot, like where people have seen the video from this park and they opt in. I didn't get a single one. And so what I did is I went back to the script generator. I filled it out, printed it, kind of spent a few minutes kind of like saying it in my head a few times. And then I hit go. And then I got, I think like 8 people opting in kind of in the first like 20 minutes.
Yeah.
I got people like literally watch. Because like there's so much to this business sometimes that these little prompts that we get, like, you know, the web pages that have like the boxes where you get to fill out like what you're going to say in what order. It's so useful so that your brain is like free to kind of like relax a little bit and just sort of like go with the steps versus having to be like just some sort of a robot that's always on.
So you got that script generator to work today, did you? Like to email you today?
Yeah. So we're probably going to upgrade them again because like it was a very simple system that we're using for the first round. But each round
didn't come through. Anyway.
It's basically that script generator, as far as technology, it's basically it's a very big opt-in basically.
Yeah. Well, I mean, if it works, like I didn't see what the email came up, but I'm guessing it just sends you an email with everything that you've put in and it just puts it all together, does it?
Yeah.
Yeah. So that gives you a really good start, and then you can just tweak and fix it up, I guess.
Yeah, like what people like say speaking exponentially, like I'm not sure if I can say that word properly, but the idea of like being able to speak off the cuff.
Yes.
Just like you're improvising like on piano or something.
What I
looks
found
much
with
much more natural.
Sorry, what was that?
What was that, Wayne?
It looks more natural if you're improvising. If you're reading, you can't help but sound, you know, like it's all prefabricated.
Yeah.
We found that the blend is really good, like where if you read it off a script, it sounds like you're reading off a script. But if you just improvise, sometimes it doesn't always have, like maybe like the structure can fall apart because it's not all there yet. So we found that like writing the script is really great for planning what you're going to say. At that point, you can just sort of like just write two words just to prompt you, because then you can speak naturally.
Yes.
But you've already worked out roughly at least what are the concepts, like what's the offer that you're going to give at the end? What's the central topic? What are maybe like the 3 key points that people really need to know? That stuff should be worked out, but you don't want it to be robotic off a page, or it sounds very off a page.
Yeah.
Yeah, that blend is that blend seems to be like where the magic is.
Yeah.
So let's go into if you can get Active Campaign, because like we've seen kind of like there's
the last one was the case study, which I did, but like this is the dark one. See how I haven't got the right lighting?
Oh yes.
Yeah. So yeah, but anyway, Active Campaign, in there.
Is there one? So before we integrate it with lead pages, let's just write some emails.
Right.
So they've already got the indoctrination because they opted in for your ebook. And then instead of getting the ebook on the next page, they got the video of the indoctrination on the next page, and the ebook then mailed to them. So if you can hit, like, what does it say? Start.
So I do a new campaign, or how do you get the list? Because we haven't got the list in there, have we?
So there's 2 parts. There's getting a list and there's writing the emails. That's right. If you're happy to write the emails first, and then we can schedule them.
Mm-hmm.
So that they won't go out. So that we give ourselves like maybe 2 or 3 days before the email goes out. Then we can actually add to the list before it goes out. We can actually automate the list so that like there's something. Can I show you guys something? Like if you don't automate, very quickly you can get this issue. Let me just. Can you stop screen sharing just for a bit? And I'm just going to, can you guys see like my camera?
Yep.
Yeah.
Here's my inbox. So you can see how many emails I've got, like 418.
Yep.
And it's all kind of like, someone opted in, someone opted in. And if you scroll down, like, it's just 400 sort of people just opting in. And that's like...
what was that for, Scott? Just like today or?
That's just like, in about a week, because of some ebooks that I put out. And I set it up so that there's the automation parts there, but I clicked a button where, I'll just line this up. I clicked a button where it still emails me all of the lead notifications. And so if you had to enter them manually, that's like a whole job. So because the technology is there, like you don't have to enter email addresses like that manually. Like 400, like it can take you a day.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's why like we want to integrate it. But let's so if you're happy to go back to the screen share and let's set this up. Let's start an email.
So do I do it like an automation or a campaign? Because
Campaign.
A campaign.
So all of these systems that do emails, they've got two things in common. They want you to produce a list and they want you to produce an email to send.
Yep. So create campaign.
Yep.
Oh, what's that 2 to 3 clients per week? Did you already do that?
I can't remember where we're at with that. So maybe,
Hang on.
I don't know if it was you or me or.
I don't think that was me.
Okay. It might have been me.
Was.
Lots happened since.
Webinar, 5 mistakes, 5 myths of small business. No, that's none of your lists. So what do you select for a list? Or do you have to add a list? As you can see, guys, I don't really use email marketing right now. I've just got my new course, some of my only a very small amount just starting to come in, and it's definitely on my to-do to try and get this up and running. So they're all coming in right now, all the new ones, but it's only just happened in the last 2 weeks, which is why I've only got a small amount. And I haven't actually really had any lead magnets that I've been promoting, which, yeah, is really silly.
Yeah, well, let's pick one to start with, just to get onto, because you've got what the 5 myths on Instagram for small business. It has 0 contacts, so let's use that.
Yeah, yeah, that was just a new niche I was going to do, but I've decided I'm not. The list you selected did not have any context. What do you want to do? Import context, add a contact. Can I import them from that Excel spreadsheet?
So let me take a look.
So I did import them out of lead pages, and they're on my desktop.
Could you click the choose something else?
Okay. Then next. Oh, choose something else. Save and exit.
Because let's just pick another one. The one above it, 5 mistakes. Because you want this to go out to people anyway.
Do a template or not?
Yep.
So, email subject.
So this is the Mythbuster.
Yep.
So let's, what do we call the Mythbuster one?
I think it was how to, Oh, Miss. Oh, I haven't really got a good name there, have I? What was the?
Well, that's just the name of the file. So let's if you click on it just to see what the page looks like.
I think it was how to create 2 to 3 leads without having. God, that's slow.
So that was probably
Why you don't need 1,000.
So if you can grab all of that.
Right, continue.
Yep.
Right. Okay, so logo.
Yeah. Do you have one that you can just add in?
Yep. Oh, so that's a photo. I added a photo.
That's right. So let's
I'll just put that.
the header.
This is only. I can change this later, can I?
Well, let's get rid of that picture. So you've got the header, keep that. Let's get rid of that one. So is there like a trash can button or?
Where's the trash? Is it there? Delete this.
Yeah, there we go.
Yep.
And now let's write some text.
Okay.
So the text, let's put your headline there again.
Oh, so where did my headline go?
Well, that's the name of the
name.
So, yeah.
Oh.
And then let's leave an empty line. And then what I like to put under it is something called the PASPA.
So do you personalize first name?
So let's write the text.
Okay.
Then we can play with it and make it pretty. So yeah, with the paragraph, can you just the letters down the page just do PASPA. PASPA. PASPA.
PASPA. Yep.
And so this stands for problem.
Yep. So do you want me to write problem or?
Yeah, just so we can kind of like have a bit of a template there as to what we're going to do.
Yep.
Aggravate the problem.
Yep.
Solve.
Sorry, what was the next one?
Solve.
Yep. Oh.
Prove.
Prove.
Yep.
Yep.
And action.
Yep.
So let's do the bottom one first because that's the easiest. You want them to watch a video that has a MythBuster.
Yep.
So you might say if you get rid of action and instead say, please watch this video that shows you why you don't need 1,000 or more followers to create 2 to 3 sales per week from Instagram.
Thousand followers.
And let's go.
Please watch this video that shows you why you don't need 1,000 followers to create 3 sales on Instagram.
Yep. Yeah, then let's go to the problem. And this is exactly like the relate that we did in the first video. So the first part that says problem, is there something above problem? What does it say there?
Oh, that's just first name. I just put that in there. I can delete that if you want.
No, it's okay. It's good.
Yep.
So instead of problem, let's write the relate to say like.
Relate?
Yeah. Well, let's not relate. Let's do a relate. So do you find it difficult or do you find...
Do you wonder why you're posting on Instagram each day and not getting any results? I mean, look.
Yes, I love that. Let's do that.
Posting on Instagram daily without creating a single sale.
Yeah. Then under aggravate, let's like maybe say you can't guess your way to success.
Yep.
Then PAS. Okay. Solve. Let's say what's one of the key myths?
Are we doing proof?
Sorry.
Are we doing proof?
So
Or
is PAS. So PAS solve is next.
oh, did I miss solve? I don't know. Right, you can't guess your way to success. Solve.
Yeah. For solve, you could say so you want to. Why is it that people actually can get 2 to 3 sales per week without 1,000 followers on Instagram?
Because they need to have a solid strategy and foundation. So one, they need to understand who their ideal customer is, and they need to be able to find them on Instagram and use a direct message strategy to get the right eyeballs. And then they need to understand the pain points and problems and basically talk to pain points and problems once they've got the right eyeballs. So I teach them how to.
Can you put that in?
And research validate. So they actually, in my course, we actually go through, we get people on the phone and we find out from the customer what are their pain points and problems, and then we weave that in as our brand message. But then I teach them how to find then, like, let's just say it was, people that were overweight and it was hypnotherapists going after them. Then I would teach you how to find those people on Instagram, so that then once you had the brand message right, but you can't sort of get it right until you've got the niching and the validation and all of that.
Here,
right.
So under solve, if you could just write, you actually can produce sales if you have a strategy, but then like what was next? Like you have to.
If you have a simple strategy to find the right customer and
but you have to niche, find out who it is that you actually want to talk to and what it is that you need to say to them.
Niche down, find out their pain points and problems.
And so
and
to find out
problems and desires. Pain points.
Before you can find out who you want to talk to and what you want to say.
So you can actually, what does that produce sales? I've got product. Produce sales if you have a simple strategy to find that speaks directly to your ideal customer, to find your ideal customer, to find your ideal customer. And understand you can produce sales if you have a simple strategy to, like what I would say to people myself is the first thing you have to do is niche down. Then we validate your offer by market research and actually get people on the phone. I have all the templates to do that. Then we find out the 5 key messages and weave your brand story in. And then we then speak to the problem with direct response marketing and just basically education, how-tos. Speaking to pain
do you talk about those P's during the Mythbuster?
Yes. I basically, in all of my videos, I've pretty much almost gone through sort of the 5 to 6 key things that you have to do, because it's not just about one thing. Like if you just niche down and then don't know how to find your ideal customers, like, or if you almost have, I believe, this is my belief, I believe you have to have all the things that I teach in my course to do anything organically. right? Like if you get these things right, even if you go out onto Facebook and do ads, you probably won't work because you won't understand your customer. You won't know that there's a valid offer that they're going to pay for. You won't know your angle. You won't know like all of those things. Some people get lucky and just do it and it works, but majority of people, I believe, that are winning, if they do these things, this will work. And the worst thing that can happen is if you validate it and then then the offer's not there, then you haven't wasted a year's worth of marketing to something that's not going to work anyway.
Good. So we can even like for the next, or if you wanted to edit this email later, you can add more things. Could you say that like you need the 5 Ps? Don't tell them what they are. They've got to watch the video.
Okay.
So you need the 5 Ps that we teach in this video, and then just sort of end it at that. Like I know, like when I said like don't hold back, this isn't holding back. This is teasing. You're not making them pay to find this out. They can get it free. They just need to click a button and watch a video.
The 5P. You need the 5 Ps.
Yep. To make this work.
To make this work.
Yeah, and there's no need to tell them. Like it's like they'll get it. And then for prove, this is like where you talk about numbers and things that you've achieved. So just like, in the case study video, like you talk about numbers, like you talked about people you've worked with. So it could be your results, could be their results.
Theresa and I, that she's had a 600% growth in since March. Since March, since she joined my course.
Great. So can you put that on proof?
Yeah. So 600%. So she's had a 600% growth in her sales since enrolling in 10x Your Gram.
Yeah.
And she has doubled her story views on Instagram stories. And again, that's because she's doing she's done the strategy really well. Like she speaks to pain points, she shows up, she does, she's basically she's played it out really well, but it's really, and the funny thing is she's only got 200 followers and she's nailing it because she's actually got the right eyeballs. So it's amazing. Yeah.
Like you were talking about, like in your case study about like, 6-figure months, like $100,000 in a month. So that's like if we said like 4 weeks or something in a month, it's like 4.3, but that's like like $5,000 a day because you need 25. So like no weekends, but just like Monday to Friday, $5,000 a day. Like these are numbers that like the world has more money and more people than ever before, but we are running out of things like trees. We're running out of fish in the ocean. We're not running out, like money never disappears off this planet. It only changes hands. Money has never been destroyed except for like, I think it was in Gotham Knight where the Joker set fire to a pile of money. But like, that's just, it's there. Like the money is out there. It's about like getting your message right to the right people, adding value, getting a clear message.
Yes. Well, I mean, Theresa's like even in all the course participants in my course, the one thing I've noticed is that people that micro niche down are the ones that win, and the ones that are too broad do not win. They're just too generic, and they just don't. And the health and wellness game, and probably even your game, like the hypnotherapists and all that. Like if you could be that one person that niches down like more than just people that want to lose weight. It might be women over the age of 40 that, do you know what I mean? Like you almost have all those extra things in, and when you do, that's when you win.
Yeah. Someone who has, let's say like if there's a disease, which means they can't go keto.
Yes.
Or their thyroid issue, like their pineal gland's not communicating with the thyroid correctly. They're in lockdown with the kids and they're going nuts and everyone's like asking them questions. So like a bowl of ice cream helps them to get through the night. They're grieving. Like these specialist fields, like somebody actually earlier today, somebody was asking me, are there enough people on the planet for us to all do business once everybody becomes great at marketing? I'm like, actually, people becoming great at marketing will end spam forever because no one will ever have to spam and annoy everybody with something that they don't want. If you advertise cryptocurrency or Bitcoin to me, I know it's great. I just don't care. It's not an interest. I don't want it. So, or like with sports, like there's people that love it. I'm just not a sports guy. So if people become like great and just brilliant at marketing, then the ultimate result would be the only people you'll hear from are the people that you actually want to do business with. That's great. That's brilliant. I look forward to that world.
And that's
less kind of like,
in my course is that I do teach to call out your ideal customer and get really clear on that and call that out with posture. And like, that's what I've called out in my course is I've called out leaders. I've called out people that are willing to invest, and I've got them, you know, I mean, I've just had one of my course participants hit number 3 in the UK. It's pretty phenomenal. And I think when you do get clear and call out that, you get that and you repel the rest, and that's okay. So yeah.
So where are we at with the email? So we've got
do you find your posting on Instagram daily without creating a single, do you find you're posting on Instagram daily without creating a single sale? You can't guess your way to success. You need the 5 Ps to make this work. And then prove is 600% growth since enrolling in 10x your gram and doubled your Instagram story views.
Yeah. So that could potentially be like fleshed out a bit more, but like all the general things are there.
Yeah, that's
the other thing that
points I can sort of fix that up. And then it says, please watch this video that shows you why you don't need 1,000 followers to create 2 to 3 sales on Instagram organically every day.
Yeah. So then that's also, let's make the headline, let's make all of it bigger so that the headline's going to be like quite a lot bigger. You could even put like a screenshot of your video there so that people can click on it. The buy now button can be replaced with a watch now that links to your actual Mythbuster video.
All right. Yep. What do I need to, what else would you suggest?
Center everything.
Center everything.
Yep. Yep. And if you can make the bottom the small text there a bit larger, not as large as the headline, but definitely larger.
Like that, or?
Yeah, maybe one more. Yep. We could even chuck emojis into it. Like GIFs are amazing things that you can put in, like an actual GIF. But let's say, like, can we change the watch now button?
Yeah. Yep. What do you want to change that to?
To make it or link it. Do you have the Mythbuster video? Like, if you go into like the place where you can edit the Mythbuster video, near the update, there's that little downward arrow. You click, it says view page, and grab the actual URL.
So go back into there and go.
Yeah. So near update on the top right, that little downward arrow. So around Christmas last year, so like December last year.
So is this where I get it from? Or
so yeah, if you can go into the Mythbuster or
Mythbuster view.
Yeah, click view. See what happens when you click view. So yeah, Christmas last year. So all of December last year, I didn't see hypnotherapy clients. I was kind of tired and I needed time off.
So what?
Yeah, so let's grab the URL.
So how do I do that? Oh, just there.
Yeah, just that. Back to active campaign. Yeah, so because I didn't see any hypnotherapy clients, I didn't get any money from hypnotherapy clients. But I still earned as much as usual, basically because of exactly the process that we're doing right now.
How do I put that link in, Scott?
So if you right click, what comes up?
Oh, hang on, right click. No. It says a line left, a line right, line center. There's a little thing at the side, or there's duplicate, hide on mobile, save to library, delete this. I just can't seem to get.
So when you click on it,
it just comes up with the lines left, right, and center. I can't.
On the right, what comes up on the right, you know, that panel that's there, like it has the color. If you scroll down, so like all the way to the right of the page,
Oh, right. Okay.
I think you've got to first click on the watch now,
Oh,
and
it
then
says here. Right. Okay. I see now. So if I go there and it says insert link there. Is that what I
yeah,
do? Paste that link in?
let's try it. Because like all of these things basically, they have a few things in common. So we know like what we're looking for, that it needs to be able to take a link.
How do I tell if that's worked? Oh, yeah. It looks like it's worked, I think. Yep.
Yeah. So I think there's that. Yeah, that's spelling. So let's because it's just getting on to 8 o'clock now.
Yep.
If you're happy to kind of like
Fix that up
flesh that out and
yep.
and we'll come back to it. So even like how like with the videos, with everything, the first one takes the longest and everything else like doesn't take quite as long.
Yep. So I just save and exit out of that.
Yeah. So let's finish next week. Let's finish this whole thing up. Let's see if in the first half hour we can get the email stuff done.
Yeah.
And then all that's left is like to do more Facebook traffic.
Yeah.
You've done so well. This is amazing. So I'm going to make sure that in the group, everything's there. All of the links are there. So that everybody can see like what the funnel is. So like if you are not teaching people Instagram and instead you are teaching health, relationships, hypnotherapy stuff, coaching stuff, all of the principles are the same. That's why like, after Michelle, like we're going to have other people that are doing different niches as demonstrations. Let us know, like if you not guarantee that, that you'll be the one that we picked. Hopefully, you will be, but it's like, let us know if you want to be, a part of this, like that, if you're willing to do a demonstration to get this stuff out there, because it's really fun. It's great to kind of, be in the hot seat and put this stuff out. Because as with Michelle, like money came through just because of like a case of doing the process.
Yeah. Well, I've got 2 plus Colin. I'm pretty sure he's going to do it. Like, I normally get a feeling, and he was like, yeah, I'll be in touch in 2 weeks. So I actually do think that he'll join.
Yeah. And we haven't even finished the funnel. Like we've only had that first Facebook post. Like people haven't seen the rest. Like they've seen your ebook.
No.
And they've seen your first video. So like the last 3 videos, like no one's seen that yet.
No. So I'll try and clean up. I might actually just do that video again, that dark one. I don't like that.
And then once that's done, like we can up the leads.
Yeah.
Cool. All right, guys. Well, thank you for being here.
I think there's 6 leads at the moment. So I actually thought tonight, like I should get on your Facebook and do a live.
Yeah, if you want to do that, because I think we had like about 35
before the next one, and to say, hey, we're getting on to do the last one tonight.
We had about 35 people or 35 comments with the IMINs and the reply with the opt-in, but we left it like probably about a week or so.
Too late.
Yeah, so it can be, but as we do the future ones, we can you can get onto them straight away.
Yeah, look, it's been great for me. Really good timing, because as I said, I was sort of about to do this anyway, and my plan is to do do you do live webinars, Scott?
Do I just like webinars?
Do you do live webinars?
Oh, so do I do live webinars?
Yeah. No.
The stuff that I do, I love to, I do live Facebooks in order to get people into something. So like if I do a full training, I like to either this, which is this is live, or like what I like to do is use Prezi and a screen record. Like there's one I did recently, how to book people in. Wayne, did you see that one? Like what to say to book people in?
I think that was one of the ones I missed. Sorry.
It's in the group. I can tag you in it. But yeah, like when I like to use Prezi because it allows me to so visually create a training that I can then sort of speak over. Like with this, I'm just using my phone. So like here's my main phone that I use. I put my headset in and I sit on my hypnotherapy chair and I hold it like this, and then I go like that, and I just talk over it, and that's like how I do it. But on my computer, that's where I spend more time planning out the training. But when it comes to talking it through. I try to like, I do like, 3 or 4 push-ups, get some energy happening, then sit in my chair and then talk through it.
Yeah. Because I'm about to do a live webinar. Like that's my big thing that I hope I'm going to really scale my business on. So yeah, like the plan is to just get 20 to 50 people on a live webinar, and then I will basically give them an hour, like 45-minute training, and then invite them to join.
Yeah.
So
just to show again, like this was your post.
Yes.
Is that coming up?
Yes. Yep.
And there was my battery's low. 32.
Yes. I mean, what would you do, Scott? Like, should I sort of like should there be any other follow-up there or not, or just leave it?
Yeah, you can message them. You can do another post, do a live. Because I did the same thing. Because like today, like sometimes what I do is if I want to write an ebook, I need the motivation to do it. So I promise it, and then I go, 70 people have asked me for this book and I haven't written a word. So then I give myself a week and I go like, I'll get it done. So like 5,000 words. So I finished that today.
Mm-hmm.
And then, a whole bunch of people opt in for it. And the same thing is like what you did. So I basically email them, or I make the system email them the ebook, and they go on to a page where it says your ebook's on its way, but in the meantime, let me teach you something else.
Yeah. Look, it's really interesting because I've never seen this strategy done by anyone. Like I'm clearly around a lot of coaches. I've been like in the coaching industry, more Instagram related, I have to say, for some time, and I've not seen this strategy that you and Jackie do. But like, funnily enough, ever since you've been doing it, I've seen this other guy doing it, and yeah, it's just really interesting.
It's like how when someone's pregnant, they start to see.
Really works. It's no doubt about it. I love the results based, does work. The thing that worries me about that is when you say, okay, well, you're going to get 2 to 3 leads. You almost need to put a disclaimer, because if people don't show up and do the do and, implement the strategies, then they're not going to get it.
That's true.
I mean, I've got, and you know what, I think when I do my live webinar, I'm going to call people out, because I don't want people that are not going to do the do. Like, I say, look, if you are ready, if you are an action taker, if you are a doer, this is who I work with and this is who I want. If this is not you, you can go away.
I found this is probably the trickiest part about the whole thing, because exactly what you're saying, I completely agree. There are people who, like you, run with it, get results, brilliant. Having said that, you already had experience.
Yeah.
So it might be unfair to compare you to all other people.
Yes.
Because it's like you've spent time developing that.
Yes.
So nobody else is insufficient in a way for not potentially keeping up. It's when they get overwhelmed and then they take a day off, but then they take another day off and another day, and then it becomes 5 years. That becomes an issue. It's like in the casino, there's no windows. They don't want you to know what the time is. There's no triggers to say stop gambling.
Yes.
So when it comes to like not giving up on your dreams, but like pausing them because you legitimately need the break, it's important to know that there is no triggers to get you back on the horse again once you've been hurt.
No.
After a breakup, after a loss of money, after a loss of energy, after a loss of health, there are no triggers to get you back up again. There's absolutely short-term triggers, as in like, I need to make a sale to pay off this bill cycle, but there is absolutely zero triggers in people's lives to make them commit to like, how's things going to be in 5 years.
Yeah.
Like 3 months tops. That's our survival instinct doesn't care past 3 months. So kind of like we've got this divine intellect and animal emotions. It's a real game to kind of find within ourselves what we need to show up. There are people who go like, oh, don't tell me more mindset stuff. I'm sick of mindset. You're like, but what I think that they want is they don't want just to be told, improve your mindset. You're like, I know. What they want is like, tell me something practical. Tell me something about my mindset that I haven't heard, or tell me about you. Tell me your story. And if you can tell me something that you've been through about like where you've mucked this up royally, and then you've had to find the emotions in you to move forward. It's like, that's the stuff I want to hear. So that's what I find. That's what I like in my mentors, is I want to hear like when you ask people like, how do you reset and re-energize after a fall? And they go, oh, well, roll up your sleeves and eat an orange. You're like, oh, what? What are you talking about? Because you can hear that it's like, they don't know what, like, they haven't suffered what the other person's suffering from.
Yeah.
That things are going reasonably well for them, at least at the moment.
And,
so like,
look,
even though they know that.
I had a massive failure about, I was probably 2 years ago. So I've always had really successful second businesses. You know, I've been all around the world with Thermomix and Enyo for 20 years. And then I bought into a water filtration system, and it just didn't really align with me. And I just didn't I had stuff going on outside of that. Like, my mum was really unwell and she was in hospital for 3 months, and I just couldn't be in that positive mindset. And I had this mentor who was trying to sort of, and she was just like going, it's just mindset, Mish, just get over it. You know, you'll be right. You just got to do it. And the more she was she was triggering me in the opposite direction. And there was part of me, the hungry, you know, no one beats me person, wanting to, you know, just go, right, I can do this, but I could not do it at that time in my life. And I was annoyed because I'd invested money into this thing.
Yes.
And it just came at a time where I just I couldn't be in that high vibe. I wasn't right to be in that high vibe. And it was just, and I look back now in that business and go, that got me to where I am right now, because what I did get out of that business was a lot of tough love from some of the mentors, but also probably more inspired me to invest in myself with coaching, because I'd never done that before. And so what I did then was I was brave enough to then find a coach on Instagram that I really liked, and I invested a lot of money, more than what I would ever have done before, even though I'd always been successful before and all of that. I just thought I didn't need, you know.
It's easy for us to forget the pre-steps we did before the steps. Like, the steps are like, you know, I ran with it, I invested, I did it, I got the results. But before that, there was something else that you did that enabled that to occur. Yeah. With me, like, my parents, like, I love them, they're amazing. I worked for them. I disagreed on the running of the business. I worked for them. I wanted to do things one way, they wanted to do another. They were in a time of their life, like, where they weren't, you know how sometimes, like, that when people are 20, they fall out of a tree, they bounce back, the bone grows back in 5 seconds so they can be back to work on Monday. But in your 30s, like, you sleep wrong and you're in pain for the next 3 days. Then in your 40s, 50s, 60s, like, there's different things you got to consider. And so, like, risk is a different thing. Like, when you're older versus when you're younger, that's different. So, like, with my parents, I'm going, what are you guys? So I wasn't that nice, actually, admittedly. Like, I was like, sort of like, telling them that they were, like, wrong as people for not doing things my way, but I didn't own the business and I had no right to speak to them that way. Because literally it wasn't my business. It was none of my business. I was running one of their 2 stores, but I'd had enough of being stuck. That was my problem. So I left. I went and I studied hypnotherapy for 2 years. I had to do some couch surfing. I had to sort of, like, you know, live in a car for a couple of days before I worked at the next accommodation. And then I got a job. I did my studies. I got ducks of the school, basically. So, and you know, it's ducks of the school, like, when they put money on it, where there's only one person per year that they actually give a discount for the diploma. And they're like, I was it. So I'd gone from, like, being completely disenfranchised and disenchanted and just, like, angry, wounded, bit bitter. So, like, if anybody asked me about life, like, I wasn't giving a cheery answer. I was just very much,
I was like that too.
Yeah.
I was like, pissed off because this had happened to me. Like, mum had got sick and I was like, I couldn't do what I wanted to do, and I'd invested this money and I was pissed off. So I did have a bit of that, and I needed to just get over that and go, right, okay, move on.
Yeah. Because those steps are really important. Like, that transformation of self and character before, like, you know, that put in your money, do what your coach says and stop arguing.
Yeah, and
I
look,
think that's correct.
the coach that
But
I chose was the best ever for me, because she'd been a mindset coach for 10, 12 years. And
yeah,
even though she was an Instagram sales and marketing coach, she'd been a life coach. So she put all this like, you know, mindset and how to deal with limiting beliefs and all this stuff in this lesson, and ways to deal with it, which I then transferred into my course, which why Christine's saying here, you know, oh, Miss, that was awesome. And, you know, like,
yeah,
so as Isabella always said to me, she goes, you know, you give people what they want and then you teach them what they need. And most people need mindset. It doesn't matter whether you're the most brilliant person, most people have perfectionism or, you know, fixed beliefs at some stage. And so she just gave me some really good strategies on dealing with that, which I feel really helped me go that extra step. I really need it, because I was in a bit of a, you know, place where I was starting to, you know, I wasn't someone that had failed much in life, and I really felt like I failed. So yeah, it was a challenging sort of year. And I didn't earn the money, because I'd been used to earning really good money on a second job. So I was like,
yeah.
So yeah.
This has been awesome. We better wrap it up,
Yes.
but same time next week. Thank you guys for joining.
Yeah, thank you. I'll get that.
Bit beyond where I'm at, but very, very interesting. Thank you. Really good.
Awesome.
No worries. It's good to hear these things. Like what I found, like, because I had a coach basically say, it's the exposure. Like you don't always have to like get involved in everything straight away. Yeah, just kind of the time to get the roadmap is before going into the woods. I love this. Like when I said, like, there's the discipline perspective. Sorry, yeah, the discipline and perspective spectrum. Discipline happens like when you're hardcore, just doing the stuff. You're booked in, every moment's taken up, doing lead sales and just like getting it done. The discipline to do that costs you perspective.
Yep.
It gives a perspective, but it also means that you can't, like, if you're going in the wrong direction and you don't have a coach or a break or something to kind of go step back and see how that went, like take a break every now and then. It's like out of every 13 weeks, you should work 10 and then take 3 off or something if you can. For those who can't, like, obviously they've got to do what they can to make sure that they get breaks. But if somebody has gone from 0 to 100, that affects them, and it's really difficult to reset for some people sometimes. If something's wrong, but they can't tell what it is.
Yep.
The perspective sometimes it's brilliant because it can you've got this free time to stop and contemplate, and it's really good because then you can actually see what's going wrong. And that's like with the coach sometimes has this advantage where they can kind of go, well, it's not my problem. That's why I can help you.
Yeah.
Because I'm not personally affected, but they can sometimes, like the perspective person, if they're not careful, can be the backseat driver, who's kind of flippant, insensitive to what's going. So kind of, I see everything as rhythm. You want to be disciplined and then get some perspective, then disciplined and then get some perspective. It's like try things and then go, that's a breath in. Discipline's like a breath in, and you go, and a breath in and in and in. And if you keep going a pop, then sometimes you've got to go, bugger this. Just for a little bit, but not forever, because you've got to be triggered to go back, and you need to trigger yourself to get back on the horse if you want to hang out with the kings and queens. But it's one of those things that you feel like when you're in the game, you're like, oh, I'm in this. And then making sure that you're doing the self-care, but making sure that like you're in the game as well.
Yep.
That's the stuff that I really probably wanted to hear a lot more of that when I'd started, because it would have been useful.
Yeah. You know,
the whole PT.
I wish I'd just invested in a coach and mentor earlier in my career. Like I just didn't put money into professional development. I just did it all. Thought, you know, I'll be right. I'm fine. I can do this.
Yeah,
and I just wish that I'd learnt stuff like I've just learnt in the last year.
You're right, because
20 years ago, you know, I'm like,
Yeah, it's shoulders of giants. You can't do it by yourself.
Right.
it's skin in the game too. So it's like that. If they pay attention.
Yeah. Yeah. No, look, the best thing that I've ever done is like, I just keep investing in people, like courses that are better than me. And, you know, if they're better than me, then I'm learning stuff. And that's the way, you know, like I hate to think how much I've invested in the last 2 years, but it's all paying off now because I'm getting a lot of people back in and you know, like I know more than them, you know, like they're a lot greener. So I think you can stand up and, you know, like I'm just sitting here and a lot of my course participants are sending me little messages and that, and it's just good to be helpful to people, really.
Someone said that their students have bought them an education, which is interesting. Like it's other people's money, because these people, like, they've got a knowledge gap that they need, and these other people that want to teach it, but they need money. So you kind of go, well, you guys take care of that. I'll be the visionary. So it's like that. Your clients will pay for your coach.
Right.
You don't need to bring sand to the beach. It's all out there. You just like be a part of it. But yeah, guys, thank you so much. I really want to eat something.
yeah. Oh God, I've already done that.
Oh yeah.
All right, thank you so much, and I will get onto those videos. And yeah, I've got an exciting appointment. I've got a training session tomorrow at a Tasmanian winery, so I'm doing a one-on-one with them. So
Excellent.
That's pretty exciting tomorrow. I'm hoping they give me some bubbly to take home.
Yeah, absolutely.
Good luck,
guys.
Michelle.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Okay, have a great week.
Bye.
See you later. Bye.
Bye.
Thanks, Scott.
Thank you.